I gotta tell you something right now, so get in your seat and now take a bow. Cause we gotta go and start the flick off to the shelf to pick. Oh, we have a show to put on your screen. Trust me now, cause my work's pristine. It's time to critique a classic movie. Let's have some fun and make it groovy. It's movie criticisms of movies, yeah. I said 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 it's... Evan, are you okay? Luke, what just happened? How long have I been... Luke? Why is there... Can you explain where this lipstick came from? Well, you see, Evan, you were in grave danger of dying from fatal food poisoning, and the only way to save you was for one of my demon species to give you a magical kiss. What? But that's... just... Wow, you had a demon, one of your demons kiss me? That's just gross. Well, sorry, Evan. Again, it was the only way to cure your food poisoning. Really, Luke? Really? You couldn't have just, made them force the vomit out of me? Well, how could you anyway? You were literally unconscious. Well, what about bloodletting me? Evan, that would definitely kill you. Have one of my female crushes kiss me? Yuck! Evan, your crushes aren't even real beings. They are fictional characters. Now can you just move on from this already? I guess you're right, Luke. Okay, Luke, I guess what's important is that I'm safe, healthy, and still alive. Exactly. Whoa! Were you just listening to what me and Luke were just discussing? You were? Oh, grief. Well, looks I'm gonna have to improvise here. Hello everyone. Evan J. Sims here. So, what is today's date anyway? Oh my gosh! Today's the day that's Movie Critisims Season 6 premieres. But I didn't even get prepared. Well, not so fast, Evan. You actually are prepared. What makes you say that, Luke? Well, you see, I had the doctors in my dimension implant both of your movies you need to talk about into your mind while you're still unconscious. Oh, so that explains why I spent all my time unconscious dreaming about the Freaky Friday movies. Wow, thanks, Luke. Well, guys, as I was saying, in this Season 6 premiere episode of Movie Critisims, I'll be doing something I haven't done in like 2 years. A movie Comparisims. On what exactly, you ask? Well, last month, on August 8th, the new comedy movie from Disney, Freakier Friday, came out in theaters. So today I'll be comparing the 2003 movie with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis that the new movie is a sequel off of, with the 1970s original movie starring Jodie Foster. Now, before I begin, I must let you all know how this is going to work. You see, unlike my standard reviews and countdown videos, these movies will not be judged based on a standard 5-point system. Instead, I'll be coming up with about 5 things that both movies have in common, and then go over each element and decide which film does each element better. The one with the most advantages wins. Alright, so with all that said, let's start out by deciding which movie has the better sense of humor. First up, let's find out which movie is better at stimulating endorphins. Now, keep in mind here that the original Freaky Friday movie was released nearly 48 years ago, while Lindsay Lohan's film came out only about 22 years ago. So, that being said, does that mean that the newer version is the winner here? Well, let's look at each one fairly first. With the 1970s version, most of the movie doesn't really take that much advantage of the fact that the two main characters have swapped bodies, and even when it does, the comedy seems pretty toned down. The 2000s version, on the other hand, is pretty much the exact opposite. That film relies so heavily on the different personalities aspect of its story for its humor. Not only is it super entertaining seeing the mother and daughter, named Tess and Anna respectively, struggle with their new roles.
She and her best friend aren't speaking, Doctor. And in her diary, she keeps mentioning this boy.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm worried.
You read her diaries? Oh, that's gross. That's bad, bad Mama Ward.
But I'm concerned, Doctor, that she and this boy might be... you know.
Stop! Stop! Nothing is going on between her and this guy. Because if there was, she wouldn't be writing about it in her diary. She'd be out there doing it. And her best friend probably isn't talking to her because she probably likes this guy too. And he probably even flirted with her a little bit. But he secretly likes your daughter. He just hasn't made his move yet because that wouldn't be cool. So now her best friend is acting like some psycho freak. Okay?
But it's also fun to see them clash with each other.
Harry, could you settle down, please? Bite me!
See? Do you see what he does behind your back? Mom. Excuse me. And while I'm apologizing, let me just say to the whole car how truly sorry I am for being such an insane control freak all the time.
Oh, you're not controlling, Mom. I'm the one who should be apologizing for my flagrant disregard for anyone's feelings but my own.
Well, at least you have a great sense of style. Not like me.
Enough.
Ooh, platinum, cool.
Don't even think about it.
But Anna and Tess aren't the film's only sources of its comedy. There are also a few laughs that come from Anna's brother Harry and her grandpa Alan.
Oh, nowhere.
You tell me where you've been right now, young lady.
Young lady?
Role-playing. Her idea. New therapeutic technique. Switching points of view.
If I switch with Harry, do I have to wear a thong?
Ooh, earthquake! Save me! Earthquake! Ooh,
Get back here, you little...
Most importantly, though, the 2000s version featured a lot more jokes in it than the 70s version, and was much more consistent with them. In all honesty, the 70s film doesn't really reach that same level of hilarious until it gets to its wild, crazy final act. And even then, it still cannot compete with the comedy of the 2000s movie. Well, this seems like the easiest element so far to judge, so let's not waste any more time and give this first medal to the 2000s version. But good comedy cannot be good comedy without good characters. So what about the characters? Well, let's start out with our main characters, shall we? Now we move on to mother-daughter versus daughter-mother. Okay, so remember during the previous segment when I said that the 2000s version took great advantage of the fact that Anna and Tess were in the wrong bodies? Well, guess what? There's also somewhat of a problem with the film too. You see, even though it is super fun seeing the two characters fumble with their new personas, at the same time it does become kind of irritating how most people don't immediately begin to catch on to this twist. By contrast, In the 1970s version, Annabelle and Ellen, the daughter and mother in that film, actually make an attempt to pretend to be the other, so it's much easier to buy that others would fall for their acts. But at the same time, the movie does let Annabelle and or Ellen slip up at least once during their pretend act, so that we can buy that others can eventually see through their disguises.
I want you to do something for me for the ceremony this afternoon.
Besides water ski?
What?
What?
You've never been on water skis in your life?
Oh, I was only kidding, Daddy.
Daddy? You've never called me Daddy before.
No, I never will again, Bill dear.
You sure you're feeling all right?
Never better.
Good.
I'm sorry, but I just don't think people will fall for Anna and Tess's act this long throughout the film. The movie should have had at least one or two moments, at least, of them at least trying to pretend to be the other. But, unfortunately, it seems like this film is like putting its comedy before actually creating a believable story. However, what the 2000s Freaky Friday lacks in believability, it makes up for with its character development. You see, while stuck in the wrong bodies, Anna and Tess both learn their own personal lessons for them to grow as human beings. Tess learns to be a looser mother by learning that Anna was not fibbing when she said that her teacher always gives her poor grades, no matter how genuinely hard she puts into her assignments. Meanwhile, Anna learns that her new stepfather is actually a really understanding man who sincerely wants the best of his family, including Anna herself. This helps Anna deliver a profound speech at her family's wedding in the finale. Now, yes, Annabelle and Ellen also developed in their movie, but their growth just wasn't as consistently focused on as much as Anna and Tess's growth was. So yeah, even though I wish that the 2000s Freaky Friday actually made an effort to create a believable and convincing storyline, I still have to give credit that it did have the stronger character development, which arguably kind of compensates for that earlier flaw I just mentioned. So I'm going to give this second medal once again to the 2000s movie. Next, why don't we move on to the supporting characters? Now it's time to ask the question, who supports better? Like I said in the last segment, Anna's new stepdad, Ryan, seems like a passive guy at first, but we do eventually learn that he actually has a sincere spirit and commitment to his newfound family. In the 1970s version, Annabelle's actual dad is still alive. His name is Bill, and he spends the whole movie either being a straight man for the movie's humor or working as a businessman. Unlike Ryan, Bill doesn't really have much of a major purpose in the film's story, and he never causes any of the characters to grow. But we also have Anna's brother Harry and Grandpa Alan, who, like I said earlier, do get laughs as well. But one final supporting character in both movies has to be the daughter's boyfriend/crush. In the 70s movie, it's Annabelle's crush Boris, while in the 2000s film, we have a boy named Jake, who is actually a little older than Anna. So which crush do I prefer? Well, both Boris and Jake do help both daughters develop as characters in their own way at least once. Boris has a talk with Annabelle in Ellen's body and says this to her.
And Mrs. Andrews? Well, you shouldn't blame yourself. I mean, it's not your fault that Annabelle's the way she is. I mean, she's probably what they call a bad seed.
Oh.
While Jake eventually starts to see through Anna's performance as Tess.
Look, you're not really getting married, are you?
Please, listen, this was so fun, and I'm going to remember it forever.
Okay, but you can't just...
Jake.
Look, I don't know what's going on here, okay? I don't know what this whole thing is, all right? I feel like I know you.
I have to go. Really,
Please. Just please. Let me at least give you a ride.
Now, in all honesty, while I like both crushes, I prefer Jake slightly more than Boris, and I think that's because there is something kind of interesting about someone who's older than Anna, yet still is fascinated by her and cares for her. Again, I like Boris to bits, and he does also help in the main story, but Jake just seems to take the cake here. Once again, I give this medal to the 2000s movie. Now, onto the performances. So, who is better at playing who? Now, like I said in the main character segment, unlike the 2000s version, Annabelle and Ellen in the 70s version do try to play each other in their newfound bodies. So, to be honest, this was the trickiest segment for me to pick a winner, because both movies' performers are excellent at the tasks they've been given. Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis are so convincing as two people in different bodies, while Jodie Foster and the late Barbara Harris do just as well as being themselves, but not themselves at the same time. Now, I'm afraid that this cannot at all be a tie here, and I have to pick at least only just one winner. So, what will it be then? Well, as much as I like the performances in the 1970s Freaky Friday, I think that the 2000s acting is much more memorable in comparison. So this medal will go to that film again. And last but far from least, we've got probably arguably the most important element of all, the story. Finally, we've got the tale of two women. Now, I'm just going to cut to the chase here and say that the 2000s movie wins this medal here once again. Why am I saying this so soon? Well, because I pretty much gave clues to this in previous segments. Again, the 2000s movie has better character development, more laughs, and more memorable acting. Yes, the film may lack a lot of believability, but there are so many other things about the film that make up for this big flaw. So, that's why it wins, and I'm going to give this final medal to the 2000s movie. Alright, so we did it. We gave away all the medals we could give for each element. And now it's time for the big moment. The moment we've all been waiting for, which is the superior film overall. And that big old medal goes to the 2000s movie. Yeah, that's right. Just to reinforce what I've already said so many times earlier throughout this video, when I say that the 2000s Freaky Friday is the superior film, it does not at all mean that I think that the 70s one sucks in comparison. In fact, I think there are a couple of things in that film that I think are actually better in that film than in the 2000s movie. It's just that the 2000s version just seems much stronger in my opinion. That's all. Anyway, that about wraps up this movie comparisons video. So let me ask you, now it's your turn. Which Freaky Friday of those two Freaky Fridays do you prefer, and why? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, have you seen the brand new Freakier Friday in theaters, and what did you think of it? Also tell me in the comment section below. And if you enjoy this video, then feel free to like, subscribe, and or share. So, what will I be doing in the next episode of Movie Critisims? Well, unfortunately, there aren't really any interesting or appropriate movies for me to review in September, so, at least new movies that is, so that's a bummer. However, I'm still a very determined person at the end of the day, so I came up with a backup plan. I'm going to be going back to doing what I used to do back in the first season of this show. Review older movies, for once, yeah. But what will it be then? Well, I'm going to let you decide that. I left a poll down in the description box below for you to vote. The choices on that poll include Remember the Titans, Best in Show, and Almost Famous. Keep in mind though, that the poll will only be open until Sunday, September 14th. After that, it'll be final. Well, that's all the time I have for today, guys. I'm Evan&AudreyS, signing out. Peace!